Well, he withdrew 2 days before we were set for trial. And that's what I mean. There's so much corruption going on. I think there was more to it, because what kind of judge is going to let an attorney withdraw based on a medical condition, but you don't have no explanation?
Who's our first call? Did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
I have a couple questions to ask, a couple legal questions that I'm really having a hard time trying to grasp, I guess. So, make a long story short, I have two separate cases. Well, my one case is with my younger daughter. Well, the goal was changed on all my children last year, but I still have rights. My rights have not been terminated. But I was going over they have one count against my youngest, and that's failure to maintain a reasonable degree of interest or concern. The reason why my goal was changed for her last year is based on the department not letting me have no contact with her, which I was currently suing in circuit court, and the only reason why it was dismissed non-prejudice is because of the juvenile case still being active. So I do plan on filing that suit again once all this is over. But the whole thing is they had a doctor conduct a psychological on me and basically make me look crazy. And when I went and paid for my own psychological and got it, validity testing done, now they have taken out, my caseworker told me last week, they have literally removed my psychological from the trial. Like, the state's attorney took it out. So I'm just baffled on what I can do at this point, because I feel like they don't even have a case with my youngest daughter. If they took out the psychological and they have one count, which I can prove without a reasonable doubt is not correct, I have done everything to see that child. I had completed all services. There's no way that they can say that I lost a interest or concern on my child.
When is your trial?
Well, I'm right in the middle of a trial. I had a lawyer withdraw on me 2 days before trial. There is so much corruption going on in my case. It's sickening, and I have all of it to prove. I mean, the caseworker lied 7 times under oath, and I have that in black and white evidence. I just haven't been able to, start the, whatever it's called, impeachment or, of her testimony.
Cross-examination.
Yeah, because my lawyer quit. We were set for trial. And he withdrew on me of alleged medical condition. Now, I believe it was something different because, like I said, there is a whole ton of corruption, discrimination going on in my case. I was allowed no contact with my children, but the father that hasn't been with one court date in 4 years has got regular visitation. I had to hire a private investigator because his mother, that I am currently suing in federal court right now for slander/defamation, is involved in my case. And I think she has a lot to do with why my kids have not come home. But I also think she has a lot to do with why I've been allowed no visitation. And I've done everything from file appeals to write the law administrative judge. Then I ended up filing suit on the director of DCFS for due process violation. And it got dismissed based on the juvenile case still being open, like I said. But I'm having a hard time finding a lawyer. And I'm having a hard time just understanding my rights. I know that I have massive lawsuits ahead. I've been told that many times. But that doesn't get my kids home. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know what to do.
What state are you in?
I'm in Illinois.
Okay. Do you have a court-appointed attorney or a private attorney?
I've had a private attorney. I will not use a public defender.
Okay. And you say you have done your case or your trial, or you haven't?
Well, I'm in the middle of it. So they had two witnesses. The state had the caseworker, which, like I said, lied under oath 7 times that I have in black and white evidence. And then they had a cop that couldn't keep his story straight either. So his testimony shouldn't be credible either, because he couldn't even keep the story straight and couldn't even keep his report, straight. Mm-hmm. But they continued to deny me visitation, and this is where my rights are. I know I have rights as a parent. I couldn't do anything for my older two because they kept saying behavioral issues. But my youngest is 2 years old, There is no behavioral issues. So when we went to court, the judge basically allowed them to say, oh, well, Your Honor, I'm sorry, we just can't get the child out of the house without upsetting the other two. So that's why we're going to continue to allow this mother no contact with her child. And my daughter is extremely damaged. My 2-year has a separation attachment disorder. She wakes up in the foster home crying. It's in a report. You know, they just continue to damage, and I just don't know what to do anymore. I can't find a lawyer that, you know, I have $7,000. That's all I have. They have bankrupted me with this case. I have spent over probably $50,000 on lawyers that haven't done nothing. I was told the DCFS worker said from because we had another agency that drug out our case longer than it should have, like a year and a half over. And when DCFS came, they said the kids should have been home a year and a half ago. So my case has been so mistreated just in all angles.
3 minutes.
And I wasn't even given the time for the baby that I was given 9 months by a court order. And after complying everything, and my lawyer walked into court and said, Your Honor, my client has done everything that the department has asked her. The only reason why she hasn't seen the child or children is because they won't allow her to. I was supposed to get my daughter back. My youngest was supposed to come home to me last year. And because of what they did with that psychological, she didn't. And there's more to that psychological. I found 3 other girls in my county that the doctor did the same thing to, and also pulled an appellate case, same thing. And as soon as I had my own psychological conducted, she withdrew from DCFS.
Wow. You know, I was thinking about that the other day talking to someone. You know, there seems to be a slight, maybe more than slight, problem when you use experts and vendors that give reunification services that are paid by the county or picked by the county. It seems sometimes that those people give the social worker what they want, not what, you know, is accurate. I only see that in my practice. I've talked to other attorneys who see that. So when you can, I would suggest that you hire your own vendors to provide family maintenance or family reunification services in your case, and use those. But I'm sure that you've talked to your attorney about this, right?
I just currently don't have a lawyer, but all my services are done. I've done all the services.
Okay, but you said you're in the middle of a trial.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a TPR. They're trying to terminate my rights, but they don't. Yeah.
You're way down in the case towards the end.
Yes.
Why don't you have an attorney to do the TPR?
Well, he withdrew 2 days before we were set for trial. And that's what I mean. There's so much corruption going on. I think there was more to it, because what kind of judge is going to let an attorney withdraw based on a medical condition, but you don't have no explanation of what it is? And
2 minutes.
Almost done. Literally two more months, and this would be over. So he couldn't have. And that's why I feel like something's wrong. And I don't know. I just feel like they keep pushing out,
right,
the case.
We'll do this. Grab a paper and piece of pencil, and I'm going to give you a telephone number. And I want you to call me tomorrow at the office, and maybe we can discuss this more in detail. We're heading to our first break in the show. My office number is 888-6582. 888-888-6582, and maybe I can try to help you find a lawyer in your area that can take over or assist you in this matter. Look, I want to thank you for calling and thank you for listening, and call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update on what happened. Would you do that for me?
Yes, I will, and I will call your office tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.